Welcome to Exhibitor Lounge, sponsored by ExhibitEdge.com. I'm your host and your trade show mixologist, Michael Gray. Here each week, you receive simple, practical, and proven tips to improve your trade show marketing strategy and get better results while maximizing your budget. Now, we are continuing our series on exhibit planning. Now, this is a great series as I get to share ideas as they're happening in real time. Now, we noticed that our exhibit location on the floor was between other exhibitors in a linear 10 by 10. Now, the floor plan had changed. We thought we had an end booth. We also set up the exhibit in-house in a measured 10 by 10 space and realized the need to shoot video at an angle because of less distance between the camera and the subject. Now, this meant that we needed to put the video camera on a tripod in the very front corner and have the interview seating in the opposite back corner. Now, this brought up a lot of questions and concerns. Number one was, how would our neighbors react to the lights and the cameras shooting live in the booth? Number two, how would we block out our neighbor's exhibit so it did not get into the shot? And number three, we really needed an end-of-aisle exhibit, like we thought we had originally booked. Now, to answer the first question, we would not expect our neighbors to be concerned with the tripod and camera on the front corner, even if it was over the limit at 4 or 5 feet high. Now, many front counters have monitors and other items that stick up past the side rail. Now, these small items do not tend to seriously block visibility of your neighbor's exhibit, which is the reason for the rule. And everybody does it, so, well, it's generally accepted. Now, to answer the second concern, we decided it would be good to create full-height side extensions onto the exhibit. In a previous video, I talked about international rules that were established by the IEEE organization. Okay, the rules for linear exhibits say that you can have full-height sides that measure up to 50% of the booth space's depth. So since we're in a 10-foot deep booth space, we can have 8-foot tall sidewalls that are 5 foot deep on either side of the exhibit. Now, we all agreed this was an important modification. We asked the design department to do a mock-up of this change to show their concept of how the sidewalls would look. All right, the third concern about needing an end aisle booth location was twofold. When I first booked our space last year, we wanted to be in the 1600 aisle where there was a lot of traffic. Now, I always say it is good to check out a show ahead of time. Now, this show proved that well, as some of the booth location rules I talked about in earlier episodes, they did not apply to this show's floor plan. The larger exhibits tended to be more left of the exhibit hall, and with only 4 hours per day of exhibit hours, attendees concentrated their time towards that side of the hall. Now, the second part of our number 3 concern had to do with the back wall graphic. Now, when you see Exhibitor Lounge videos, you notice I always acknowledge our sponsor, Exhibit Edge, and their logo is on the lower audience right side of the exhibit. Now, if we could change to an end aisle location, it needed to be on the left side so we did not block the Exhibit Edge logo with the interview chairs. So we really wanted to move to an end aisle location. We wanted to stay in the high traffic 1600 aisle, and we wanted an audience left end space. Well, we contacted the sales department and told them our needs, and after a few weeks, we were able to secure a space that just became available as another exhibitor decided to upgrade to a larger space. We got the space we needed, and the Exhibitor Live sales department really worked with us to help. All right, a good analogy I can give you is if you have an airplane seat that, well, you don't like, keep checking online to see if another seat becomes available, right? So this was a great week. We got a new booth space, we figured out some booth flow requirements, and we moved forward with the look of the exhibit, adding new sidewalls. Hey, as always, please respond with your questions or comments and let others know about exhibitorlounge.com. And we'll see you next week. Until then, I'm your host, Michael Gray, telling you, relax in the Exhibitor Lounge.